It's hard to believe that with Winx Club being one of the longest running shows on Nickelodeon today, we've never done a 107 Facts episode on it, especially considering its storied production history, so let's change that. I'm Jeremy, and these are 107 facts you should know about Winx Club. Number 1. And we start at the beginning with creator Eugenio Straffi, who first had the idea for this show because he felt there was a lack of female heroes in cartoons at the time, and he was definitely ahead of the curve with this one. Number 2. Straffi made a deal with Rai Fiction to produce a pilot, which they test screened in 1999. And it didn't go well. The reactions were lackluster, and Straffi himself was unhappy with the result, so they scrapped everything, losing about 100,000 euros. Number 3. And because it was scrapped, even though it was produced in 2001, no copies of it are known to still exist, and it's yet another piece of lost media. The longest available clip clocks in at 33 seconds. Number 4. If that sounds pretty vague, there's a reason for it. Because almost everything was scrapped, it's surprisingly difficult to find any kind of specific details on it outside of the character sheets in the intro. Number 5. However, the title of that original pilot, Magic Bloom, was later reworked into the title of a song played in the episode The Font of Dragonfire, now called Magical Bloom. Number 6. One of the aspects he was most unhappy about was the very traditional designs, so rather than going to the animators to rework them, Straffi hired a team of Italian fashion designers to rework his characters. Number 7. The new character designs were based on some of the biggest stars at the time. Bloom was based on Britney Spears, Stella on Cameron Diaz, Flora on Jennifer Lopez, Musa on Lucy Liu, and Tecna on Pink. Number 8. Now finally happy with the outcome, production of the series proper began in 2002 at Rainbow Studios, and the first episode would see the light of day on January 28, 2004. Number 9. Because of this January release, a lot of people think that the show started airing in 2003, when in fact, that's only when the marketing campaign for it started. Number 10. In the US, the show was heavily edited and censored for the first 3 seasons by a company called 4 Licensing Entertainment, broadcasting as 4 Kids, which Straffi was decidedly unhappy about. So much so that in 2009, he revoked their right to broadcast the show. Number 11. The changes range from the understandable, such as the puns not translating very well, to the strange, like the mention that Daphne is Bloom's sister being left out, to the downright silly, like removing the slightest hint of Stella's bosom during her Charmix transformation in the first season, because it was a bit too much for American TV. Number 12. Because of all of that, even though the series was still continuing with a 4th season, 4 Kids claimed that the season 3 finale would be the end of the show. Number 13. This was not completely out of the blue though, as Straffi has stated that he originally intended the show to only be 3 seasons long. Number 14. Of course, this would leave a significant gap in the story for audiences, so the 4th season only started airing in the US in 2012 after the deal had been signed with Nickelodeon. Number 15. There is another translation into English done by the Canadian company called Cinelume, which sticks much closer to the original Italian dub. So close, in fact, that even script errors were directly translated. Number 16. And with so many companies and translations involved, it should come as no surprise that some characters had multiple voice actors over the seasons and various versions. The current record holder is Tecna at 6, followed by Bloom and Musa at 5. Number 17. The first 4 seasons were aimed primarily at the Italian market, and as such, the synchronization was made to work with the Italian voices. Number 18. This would only change in 2011 when Viacom became co-owner of Rainbow and production shifted to Nickelodeon. Part of this shift was that the show now became primarily an English cartoon with the synchronization designed to line up with English instead of Italian. Number 19. While Straffi was still the majority owner of Rainbow Studios that handled the majority of the animation, by 2011 he had largely moved on to other projects. Number 20. But the gamble definitely paid off for Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon UK saw a 58% jump in ratings when they first aired the show in 2011, for some metric of its popularity. Number 21. In fact, it's so popular there that at its peak, there were 3 to 4 episodes airing per day there as reruns spread all over the day, including into the evening hours. Number 22. That said, they definitely didn't hold back, spending over $100 million on marketing the show from 2011 to 2013. Number 23, Rye Fiction was still heavily involved with financing the show, until Season 7, which became a big problem as they nearly went bankrupt over the huge flop that was Gladiators of Rome. Number 24. As we mentioned in our 107 Facts About Nickelodeon video, there were rumors that the show would be canceled after Season 6 because of that financial blow. But Season 7 was still made, of course. Number 25. But part of the reason it could be salvaged was a rather drastic cost-cutting campaign by Nickelodeon, which included a lot of the voice actors of the main cast and shifting over the recording to DuArt Studios. Number 26. Of the completely overturned cast, only one actor returned to voicing a character that she voiced before during the 4Kids days, Erica Schroeder, who voiced Piff in the DuArt dub. Not the most memorable of credits, but it earned her a special mention on this list, so it must be worth something. Number 27. There was a 4-year gap between Seasons 7 and 8, partly because Season 8 was something of a soft reboot and would now target preschoolers instead of the original audience. Number 28. And with Season 8, it's the first time Rye Fiction isn't involved with the financing anymore, instead being financed by Rye Ragazzi. Number 29. Season 9 is confirmed to be in the works, but with this shift in target demographic, they have also shifted from making 22-minute episodes to 11-minute episodes, just twice as many of them. Number 30. Part of the Nickelodeon revival was that it began with 4 one-hour-long specials, mostly for the purpose of recapping the first 2 seasons and introducing a few new characters. Number 31. Of the 200-plus episodes so far, 2 of them are holiday-themed. Hallowinks from Season 2, and Winx Club, A Magic's Christmas from 2012. Number 32. Of the 13 fairy forms seen in the show, Winx is the only one not to end in Ix, probably because that would make it sound weird. Number 33. Some of you might say, hold on, aren't there only 9 forms? Well, that depends on your definition, with 4 additions to transformations and 2 more sub-transformations. Number 34. Let's move on to the characters, starting with arguably the main character, Bloom. There's an early character bio of her suggesting that her last name is Peters, most likely the surname of her adoptive parents. Number 35. This was made canonical in Netflix's live-action adaptation of the show for both her and her adoptive parents, so do with that information what you will. Number 36. Despite having the most screen time of all the characters, Bloom does not appear in every episode. Number 37, Bloom's story shares most in common with that of Superman. Pretty much the same origins, except that it was a sister who sent her through a magical portal rather than her parents putting her into a spaceship. Number 38, she also bears more than a passing resemblance to Harry Potter, both being orphaned by an evil wizard, going to a magic school to learn their craft, and defeating said evil wizard, or witches in Bloom's case. Number 39, and as a fun side note, Bloom's voice actress in the Italian version, Letizia Ciampa, also did the voice for Hermione Granger for the dubbed version of Harry Potter. Number 40. While Bloom's design was largely inspired by Britney Spears, her personality was mostly based on Joanna Lee, who is Ingenio Straffi's wife. Number 41. Until Roxy's introduction in Season 4, Bloom was the only member of the Winx Club not to have a last name end in the letter A. Number 42, in fact, it seems to be the most common letter for Alphea's fairies to have their name end with, as 28 of them do. Number 43, despite there being over 100 yellow reefs throughout the magical dimension according to Tecna, the only one we actually get to see is on Bloom's homeworld of Domino. Number 44, according to herself in the episode Professor Avalon's Secret, Bloom's favorite color is purple. Number 45, moving on, Stella is actually the only character to appear in every episode of the show, though she squeezes by on a few cameos. Number 46. For the first 3 seasons, Stella was voiced mostly by Karen Manuel in the 4Kids version, though is credited under 3 different aliases in each of the 3 seasons that company did. Number 47. Stella's eyes frequently shift in hue, going from dark brown in some cases to golden brown to actual bright gold. Number 48. Stella's homeworld of Solaria is aptly named since it has 3 suns. While trinary star systems, yes, that's the actual term, are rare, There's nothing in the law of physics that prevents them from existing, and they do exist in the real universe. Number 49. Despite being one of the oldest known planets in the magical dimension and the home of one of the main characters, Solaria doesn't appear at all in the World of Winx comic series. Number 50. Now Tecna. She was originally intended to be a half-fairy, half-robot, as is kind of implied by her name. Number 51. She is the only one of the Winx Club to earn her Enchantix away from her homeworld, while that normally requires saving someone from her homeworld at great sacrifice to themselves. Number 52, however, some would argue that she instead saves the entire universe by closing the Omega Portal, which includes her own world. Number 53. Tecna is presumed to be left-handed, as she holds her Mythix wand and most gadgets in her left hand. Number 54. According to Tecna, the people of her homeworld Zenith are known for their talent of multitasking. Number 55. Quite ironically, the people of Zenith don't generally show their emotions, and yet the Gem of Empathy was located here. Number 56. For some reason, in the 3 Seasons 4 Kids dubbed, she speaks with a British accent, while every other English dub has her speaking with an American accent. Number 57. While in canon only Bloom and Flora are shown to have siblings, there is a 4 Kids coloring book in which Tecna has a little brother. Number 58. Rebecca Solar voices Tecna in Season 3 of the 4 Kids dub, and later voices Stella in the Duarte dub. Number 59. There's actually some debate on Tecna's favorite food. According to herself, she likes spinach, but according to her father, it's algorithm soup. Number 60. Moving on to Flora, whose Strophy is stated to be his favorite of the Winx Club. Number 61. Initially, Flora's hair was supposed to be lilac rather than the light brown she ended up with, so her hair changing color underwater while in her Sirenix form is a nod to this. Number 62. Flora is a close second to appearing in every episode, as she appears in all but one episode, the very first one. Number 63. She is the first fairy to earn her Bloomix, and the first one to do so individually. Number 64. As her name implies, Flora loves flowers, with her favorite being the rose. Her favorite animals are cats, dogs, and Magiwolves. Number 65. Flora's homeworld of Lymphia is aptly named, as that is a variation on the Italian word linfa, meaning plant sap. Number 66. Flora's sister Miele, Italian for honey, was called Rose in the 4 Kids dub, possibly as a result of her name being difficult to pronounce in English. The different dubs all have different pronunciations. Number 67. Speaking of name changes, it'd be remissive of me not to mention that of Bloom's homeworld, Domino, being changed to Sparks for some reason. Number 68. And then there's Musa, whose name was changed to Martha in the Welsh dub because her name would sound very similar to the Welsh word for stalling or stinking. Number 69. Musa goes through the most hairstyles of all the Winx Club members, at 6 so far, including her initial character design. Number 70. On the note of royalty, Musa is generally held not to be a princess. Again, the 4 Kids dub casting doubt on that, but at the same time, the novelization of the Winx on Ice mentions in passing that maybe they are all princesses. Number 71. Musa's second voice actor in the Cinelume dub, Annick Mattern, also provided the voice for her mother in Season 2. Number 72. Her birthday is on the same date as Ingenio Strophi's, May 30th. Number 73. Some inspiration for her story in the episode The Music Cafe came from The Little Mermaid, as she is a musician who lost her voice to an enemy only to recover it later. Number 74. And speaking of watery worlds, Aisha is from a water planet, and probably because of that, she excels at water sports. Number 75. Her doll of Mattel's Pixie Magic line betrays that at the early stages of development, her name was going to be changed from Aisha in the Italian version to Gladys in the English dub. Obviously, this fell through. Number 76. What didn't is that in the Irish dub, her name was changed to Shifra, meaning water fairy. Number 77. Even though she wasn't introduced until Season 2, she's lucky that Trix are recurring villains, so that she's faced the complete roster along with the rest of the Winx Club. Number 78. Because of her agility, Aisha is the only member of the Winx Club to have landed a hit on Tritanus without using magic. Number 79. Lastly, Roxy. Literally, she was the last one to be added to the Winx Club, only joining the group in Season 4 with some considerable hype from the creators beforehand and shortly after, including a special comic and a special DVD release. Number 80. Of the 7 Winx Club members, Roxy is the closest to taking the throne she is the heir to, as the person currently sitting on that throne, Nebula, is only Queen Regent. Number 81. Possibly as a result of her late introduction, Roxy is the only one of the group who gains her Believix form before the preceding 3, which shouldn't be possible. Number 82. For some reason, Roxy doesn't have her blonde highlights anymore in Season 5. Now, the fairies undergo all kinds of design changes, but this is an odd one, as they appear back the exact same as before in later seasons. Number 83. But then again, she doesn't appear in Season 8 at all, possibly because of the soft reboot. Who knows, maybe she'll be back for Season 9. Number 84. Roxy's voice actor in the Cineloom dub, Sarah Camacho, shares her last name with Gauntlet's voice actor for the same dub, Mark Camacho. This is a coincidence as they are not related. Number 85. Her homeland of Tir na Nog draws heavy inspiration from Celtic mythology and its version of the legends of King Arthur. Number 86. The fact that it's based in Celtic mythology is further emphasized by the presence of menhirs, the standing longstones which are spotted on the land even after it was largely destroyed. Number 87. Let's turn to the other side of the coin, the Tricks. Another well-chosen name as they are triplets according to Straffi. They have their birthday on May 5th. Number 88. Although Season 8 contradicted Straffi's statement on this subject, where it is explicitly stated that Icy is not related to Darcy and Stormy. Number 89. The concept of 3 witches as antagonists is very old. The Greek goddess of witchcraft, Hecate, was frequently depicted as 3 women. The same goes for the Midnight Washerwoman and Morrigan in Celtic mythology, and even in Shakespeare's Macbeth, 3 witches lead to the protagonist's downfall. Number 90. Since their debut in Season 1, the Tricks have appeared as antagonists in every season, skating by on a technicality in Season 4. They are featured on a portrait in Althea's Hall of Enchantments, listing the greatest threats to the magic dimension. Number 91. In the episode Archeron, the quite grandiose claim by Icy that no one double-crosses the Tricks is fairly ironic, given that they have already been double-crossed at least 4 times by that point. Number 92. Some of the other main antagonists, the Ancestral Witches, are likely based on the Nazgul from The Lord of the Rings, both in appearance and backstory. Number 93. And with that, their master, Darkar, also displays more than a few similarities to Sauron, a comparison made stronger by his powers of transformation and the glumix that he gave the Tricks, ostensibly to empower them, but instead turning them to his side. Number 94. Another big influence on him is likely the Christian depiction of the devil, particularly with his fortress being located far underground. Number 95. The amount of time and education at Althea takes is inconsistent, because in the first episode, Headmistress Farragonda says it takes 5 years, but in later seasons in the movie, it's been revised down to 3. Number 96. Despite Farragonda's fairly prominent role in the show, neither the Italian nor the English versions credit her voice actor in the first 4 seasons. Depending on your version, it was Roberta Griganti in Italy and Rachel Lillis or Carrie Walgren in English. Number 97. So far, all villains have targeted Althea, though with the exception of Selena, all for different reasons. Number 98. Selena shared her motivation of acquiring the Dragon Flame with the Tricks from Season 1. Number 99. While the school received its own anthem in Season 6, in the 4Kids version it already had an anthem of its own. Number 100. The French dub of the 4th special is titled Nuit Noire à Althea, literally Black Nights at Althea, though the spelling is strange because it's not known if the other languages also have the PH spelling or if that's just the French version. Number 101. The rivalry between Althea and the Cloud Tower was inspired by the real-life rivalry between Oxford and Cambridge, according to Straffi. Number 102. Cloud Tower's magical defense of someone only being able to enter when invited is based on the mythological defense against vampires, again, them only being able to enter someone's home when invited in. Number 103. Similar to how Althea's students have most of their names ending in A, most of Cloud Tower's students have their names ending in Y. Number 104. The appearance of the school was based on Maleficent's castle from the 1959 version of Sleeping Beauty. Number 105, and you don't have to look too closely to see the inspirational angle of Maleficent herself for Headmistress Griffin. Number 106. While the franchise had its video game tie-ins, a surprising number of them were never exported to the US, with most of them remaining exclusive to the European market. Number 107. While on the subject of being snubbed, Japan didn't see anything of the franchise until World of Winx was released there. And that's it. 107 facts about Winx Club. Did we miss any important ones? And what's your favorite fact about this show? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, make sure to like and subscribe for more great content every day. And remember, Frederator loves you!